Hello friends! Today's the day we're going to talk about accepting returns on eBay, but first we are going to pull my sales for the day. So I'm starting in this aisle because I have my laptop set up over on the counter there with some tabs open just for some talking points about the returns. So right now we're starting in box BC. All right, this is the brand Dear John. I don't think I've ever sold it. I don't know anything about it really. I don't know where it sold originally. I got this off Whatnot, so I probably paid $5 or $6, and it sold for $22.64 plus shipping on eBay, so not too bad. AR. I thought this was actually kind of funny because, so these are two Lululemon shirts and I bought them on the same day at a Goodwill, and then they both sold the same day on eBay but to different buyers. So I just thought that was funny. So I paid $4.99 for each of them. This gray one sold on eBay for $22.64 plus shipping. And then this kind of like bone colored one sold for $17 plus ship. This one, it was like a situation where I had sent the buyer like an offer to watcher and then forgot to toggle off the allowed counter, so they did counter at 17. I went ahead and accepted because 5 into 17 is okay. It's about a $10 profit, which I'm okay with that. All right, box J. All right. This is a North Face like long sleeve hoodie shirt. This was actually my personal shirt and it's going out to our viewer Diana, so thank you so much. I think I paid probably around $30 for this, just like at one like a Marshalls or TJ Maxx or something. And then Diana purchased it for $20.62 plus ship on eBay. Thank you so much. All right, BB. Another one of my personal closet items, so probably making little to no profit here, but it's some On running shoes. I know I bought these at Uptown Cheapskate. I think it was in the $40 range is what I paid for them. I did wear them a few times. I just didn't think they were super comfortable. They don't really match with anything that I wear, so I went ahead and listed them, and then they sold within like a day or two, so I probably could have got a little more, but I'm happy with the $50.99 plus ship that I did get and a quick sale. So basically I at least made all the money I spent on the back. All right, and then I think the rest is just right over here. All right, I got a couple set up right here. This Patagonia hat was the only one in this closet or this room. I keep all the hats in a basket in there. So I just pulled it out, and this, I know I just dropped the price probably $5 last week, and then it sold pretty much right away for $21.83 plus ship. I did get this from the bin, so happy with that sale. That hat was so cute. I wished my kids would have wanted it, but they didn't. They don't really love hats. And then this is a Bali bra. This is from the bins, and it sold for $14.54 plus shipping. So love turning a bins bra into almost $15. All right, headed to EG. This is the brand ANA, I believe from JCPenney's. This is from the bins. I bought this because it was new at Tag and I thought it was a cute little shirt. It's over $16 plus ship probably in just about a month or so. The EY. This is the brand Armani Exchange. It's like a crushed velvet sort of dress. It is from the bins and sold for $20.21 plus shipping. I just saw I got another sale on Poshmark, so I might look at where that's at really quick. Some Cabi jeans, 6281. FB, so we're already here. this is them. So a pair of women's Cabi jeans. I did get these from the bins, and they sold for $39 on Poshmark. So I believe someone just accepted the Posher VA offer that went out. So very great sale. Okay, a couple more FM. All right, we got another viewer sale going out to Paula. Thank you so much. She snagged these Brooks. I showed these in a recent like little Goodwill haul. I did pay $14.99 for these, and then I listed them in the $60 range, and then with the sale running and I think another offer to Liker, Paula snagged them for $58.28 plus ship. So thank you so much for your purchase. I hope you love those. The trail or the tread on those is so like nice. I hope you're going to go on a lot of hikes this summer with those. All right, last one, FF. These sold in probably 10 minutes of me listing them, which leads me to believe I probably could have got more, but I did check comps before I listed, so I'm also happy with what I got for them. It's a pair of Adidas wrestling shoes. I think I listed them on Posh at 68, and then yeah, within a few minutes somebody offered 50, so I just accepted 50 because I think on eBay I had priced them at $59.95, and we always have a sale that's like 20%, like pretty much right off the bat, so they would have dropped down to about $48 to $50 anyways. So I was very happy with the quick sale at 50. I believe I paid $14.99 for these just a couple days ago at a Goodwill. All right, let's talk about these returns on eBay. I showed you guys 2 packages yesterday. I already dealt with one of them, and that one was just more of a measurement discrepancy. So they opened the return saying the measurements don't match. So I got the item back, I remeasured it. It matches what I said it was, but he sent photos showing his own measurements, which were different than mine. So that's going to happen whether or not you accept returns or not. So that one is just, it is what it is. Cost of doing business. It sucks, but it happens. This one is kind of the one that's really got me a little bit riled up recently. I think in 8 years on eBay, this might be the only time where I feel like the buyer actually messed up the item and then tried to return it. So, you know, even when I don't have a return policy, when I say no returns, if I make a mistake, I'm always happy to accept a return. Generally, I just give them a full refund, don't even make them send it back. So yeah, this person opened up a return request and said that, let me see, I screenshotted what she said. All right, and I'll put this this screenshot here. So she opened up the reason as doesn't work or defective. Her comment was, these shorts have a permanent crease on the hem around the legs. I have washed and ironed them to try and get it out, and it doesn't come out, which changes the inseam, and they don't fit properly. The photos do not show this or the description. Might have not even been the same pair. These are not supposed to be rolled or cuffed. Yes, that's true. They're not supposed to be rolled or cuffed. My photos don't show any of the thing that she is saying. I can, you know, put my photos up here too. There is like maybe one part on the back of the shorts where I could see if you rolled them, maybe they would kind of make themselves a crease or a cuff, whatever she's saying. And like, if that was the case, so if she got this item and just opened it up and said, you know, they're creased, and just open the return, is that like, I'm going to accept the return and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But the fact that she said she has washed and ironed them, like, to me, that's what caused the creases. I mean, I guess this is, okay, let me open the item so you guys can get an idea. Well, you probably already saw a little bit of it on the screen, but so it is these Viore shorts. So yeah, you can see here is what she was kind of like pointing out. So like right now, I was gonna say it's possible maybe just being folded in the inventory could have made them creased, but like from the time I found these at the bins to the time I sold them, they were maybe folded for like a week. So I can't imagine that this happened between me taking photographs of them and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know, I'm a little bit sad about this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to I don't know. So I feel like she was being dishonest. And even if she wasn't, you're not allowed to alter an item and then still return it. So like I was saying, like if she just opened the return saying the item is creased, I just got it, it's creased. Okay, I'm gonna accept the return. But since she sent me that message with the return request, you know, when they open it as not as described, you automatically have to either accept it or send them a full refund. So I pushed accept return, and then I just messaged her, which what I messaged her caused her to leave me a negative feedback. So that's one of my, I guess, main reasons for wanting to accept returns going forward. I have 5 negative feedbacks in the last 12 months on eBay, and I would say all 5 of them are sort of return related, like because I did not accept their return. A lot of them put in returns for doesn't fit, and I decline any returns that say doesn't fit or doesn't want it. So they can still leave a negative feedback, which even if I do accept the return, they could still leave a negative feedback because maybe they didn't want to pay return shipping, you know. So that's never really been a point to where I'm like, yeah, I need to accept returns because they're going to leave me negative feedback. Like that hasn't really been an issue. Like that hasn't been a reason for me to want to do it until I guess now. You know, 1 or 2 negative feedbacks, but when I'm starting to get 5 in a year, that's making me a little bit sad. Thankfully, I think 4 of them are kind of old and they do fall off after a year. So anyways, let me read you what she wrote as her negative feedback to me. Sent me a flawed pair of shorts with terrible creasing that wasn't pictured or described. She immediately messaged me after I opened a return and said I ruined them and that she is opening a claim against me for something I wanted and ordered but was sent a flawed item. Shame on you. Terrible customer service. Would absolutely not buy from this seller again. So previously to this, so if you didn't know, you can reply to feedbacks. I believe you can reply to positive, negative, neutrals, any of them. So I had 5. This is my 5th. I hadn't replied to any of them yet, but then so let me read you my response. But basically after I responded to hers, then I'm like, I'm going to just respond to the other 4 too. Anyways, I said I don't normally reply to feedback, which was true at the time. But none of this is true. My exact message to buyer, and I put in quotes because I literally went to my message and copied and pasted exactly what I told her, was I've sent you a return label, but will be filing a counterclaim with eBay once I receive the item back, as you have altered it from how I sent it. The ironing and the washing. And then I said, buyer opened a claim stating she had washed and ironed the item. This is how the item became creased. As someone who has sold over 6,000 items, I'm talking about her page shows that she sold over 6,000 items on eBay herself. She knows altering an item voids the return policy. I would have happily accepted a return had she not washed and ironed the item. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm top rated seller on eBay, but if you don't accept returns, I guess you don't have the privilege of deducting like 50% of their refund. So that's one benefit. I did open a tab here for what a top rated seller is. So like these are the additional seller protections. It says return shipping label credit for false item not as described. So this is one of the reasons I think that I wanted to open or allow returns. If a buyer falsely claims an item was not as described, we'll protect you on eligible transactions. We'll reimburse your return shipping label cost up to $6 per return. You'll receive the return shipping label credit on your monthly invoice and will automatically remove any negative or neutral feedback, defects, and open cases in service metrics. So that one, so I've had a few other returns which were like kind of like, you know, probably even like the measurement thing. That one I probably wouldn't, you know, go out of my way to try to get like a shipping label refund. It's not that big of a deal. But I had one last couple weeks where I don't know if you guys remember, I sold that Snoop Dogg pajama shirt, and like it was only the shirt, which my title, you know, says pajama sleep shirt, and then in the description it says sleep shirt only, no pants. So that person opened one saying missing parts or pieces, which it's not because I described it perfectly. It wasn't missing anything. They assumed maybe it had pants, but my listing did not say it had pants. So I think maybe in that case, this would have applied, to where like she opened it as not as described, even though it was as described. So then I am automatically on the hook for return shipping, which in this case, it was such a low dollar item and it came from the bins that I didn't want to even get it back and resell it and have somebody else think the pants are missing too. So in this case, I just refunded her. That way I'm out the item cost, which was bins weight, and then the first shipping label, which was maybe like $6. So, but it seems like in this case, I would have been able to at least get like $6 back from eBay if I wanted to. But the main reason I think I'm accepting returns is for this. You can up to 50% refund deduction for decreased value on used or damaged returns. So when you issue a refund for an item that was returned after it was used or damaged by a buyer and you have a track record of delivering on your service promise, will give you the ability to protect yourself by deducting up to 50% of the refund to recover the decreased value of the item. If there are any issues with buyers that may negatively impact you, we'll take care of them by removing any negative and neutral feedback, defects, and open cases. So, I actually just before I started recording asked Chris if he would try a feedback removal on these shorts. So I had called eBay while these were still in transit back to me to see like, is there anything I can even do? Because I did not have a return policy at the time when she put this return in, I wasn't going to be able to deduct the 50%. So, you know, they said I could call them back and they would do it for me basically, but I can't remember the dates. But basically I had to refund this girl by April like 8th, I think it was. And they were like, we can't help you till April 9th. So I knew if I did not refund her by the 8th, I was just going to get a negative mark on my account. And that's not worth it. Like this whole item, I think with shipping and everything is like between $24 to $27. So that a negative mark on my eBay account is not worth $24. Like even this whole thing, the money is not the problem. Like I personally just don't like when I feel like people are lying, but I know I can't control other people, but yeah, so that's kind of why I've been riled up over this one. And I don't know if I said this, but like, yeah, in 8 years on eBay, I get return requests that are false, but this is the first one that's ever like kind of messed up the actual item. Usually they either didn't want it or whatever. They just send it back same as I sent it to them. So, yeah. So I guess my two reasons for accepting are going forward, I will be able to deduct 50% if they do mess up the item in any way. I can get shipping credits if they are lying about the reason for a return request, and hopefully I'll be more protected from negative feedbacks. Like I know, you know, I do think a lot of these 5 feedbacks I have, I wouldn't have gotten if I did just accept returns to begin with, but it's hard to say for sure. So other than that, like I did write down a few kind of just like stats, just to give you context of like what this means for like my business in general. So like how basically how much of a non-issue it actually is, like returns in general. I mean, I don't know about accepting returns, but about not accepting returns. So this is, I looked up the last 12 months on my eBay store. So in the last 12 months, I've done in gross sales $93,746. Like, you know, that's the full amount, shipping and everything. And that was for 3,046 sales. So that's how many sales I've made on eBay in 12 months. And the return requests that came in while I did not accept any was only 23 items, like got requested for a return. And what else did I write on here? I have like my return page open. I was just kind of gonna tell you guys about a few of them. So yeah, out of those 23, so when you don't accept returns, if someone says item doesn't fit, item just changed my mind, those ones you can just decline it and it closes the return. You don't have to accept it. If you don't accept returns, they knew before they purchased it, or at least they should have looked at your return policy. So yeah, so let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 out of 23 were for those two reasons, either doesn't fit or changed their mind. So what does that leave us at? Like 9 items. So only 9 items in a whole year were opened as either I, messed something up or whatnot. So I calculated the value of those 9 items, and that was $210.95. So essentially, to make $93,000 in sales, the issues that arose from that was only $210.95. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, for me, for this, it's basically a non-issue. So I think, eBay always says if you accept returns, you should make more sales. So, I don't know if that's true. You guys can let me know. I know most of you guys already accept returns if you feel like it actually helps boost your sales. That's not necessarily a reason I'm doing it. I guess I'm curious to see if it might, but now I am going to get more return requests. So I guess I'm hoping at least a few more sales come to offset it. But so far, like I said, I have 2 sales coming back to me since I did turn it on, and they both said doesn't fit. So if I'm understanding the return policy correctly, let me know if I'm not, because I was talking to Chris about it, and I feel like we were both understanding it differently. So what I think it means is if anyone opens for not as described, if anyone opens a return for like doesn't fit or changed mine, they're on the hook for sending it back for the shipping cost. And I believe I also don't have to refund them their initial shipping. So that's kind of what led me to say, okay, let's just try it out. Because yeah, these two, I can let you know. So this couple that are coming back to me right now, one is a Talbot sweater, and the value of the item was $24. So, plus $6 shipping. So I think since it doesn't fit her, I think when I get it back, she paid to ship it back to me, and I think I don't have to refund her the $5.99. So I'm not quite out anything unless, yeah, I don't think. So I just relist the item. It'll sell again. No big deal. And then this other item was just a pair of shoes, which that one she paid $30 for the shoes plus $10 shipping. So she hasn't actually put them back in the mail yet. I don't know if I think a lot of people are going to see it's not really worth it for them to return it, because $10 to ship it back to me. And then if I don't refund her initial $10, like that's, you're basically losing $20 just to return a $30 item. Like she would get her $30 back. But so my average sale price, like overall, like you guys see me sell some stuff for $70, $80, $90, but for the most part, you see me sell a lot of stuff for like $10 to $15. So when you talk about average sale price, mine is around $26. So I figured $26. I think most people are just either going to buy it, and if it doesn't fit, they'll either resell it on their own or just donate it, because it won't be worth them returning it to me. So, yeah, I think that is all the points I wrote down about this. So hopefully that made sense. I've only talked to Chris about this so far, and he doesn't really sell on eBay, so he doesn't necessarily understand, especially when I'm like getting mad and he's like not understanding why stuff is upsetting me. So let me know if you guys think, or am I understanding the return policy correctly? I added buyer paid returns. So there are different ways you can do returns. I did 30-day buyer pays. You can do free returns. I know if you do free returns and you're top rated seller, I believe that makes you into the plus, as long as you also ship with him one day. I'm not doing all that. I like 2-day shipping, and I do not want to do free returns, at least not right now. We'll see how this goes, and maybe in the future, we'll see. But I don't really need the extra 10% in my sales, especially when it's probably just going to be offset by the amount of extra returns that you're getting. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you do or do not accept returns. Even today, I was like, why did I do this? Should I just not? But then I have to remind myself I can turn it back anytime I want. So I'm going to let it go for at least probably 90 days and just see what happens. I was getting a little discouraged within the first week already having 2. But again, when you look at the overall picture, last year alone, selling 3,046 items, if I get let's say I get 2 returns a week, like, which is what's happening right now, that's 100 items per year, 100 items out of 3,000, and technically not being out anything because I'll be able to resell them. So I think it's cost of doing business. So maybe I shouldn't have waited 8 years to get here, but here we are. And yeah, Please let me know any questions, comments, anything in the description. I feel like I've talked way too long at this point, so I am going to go pack up these packages, get them off to the post office, and then probably go for a walk with the boys once they get back from school. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, friends.